And we're back. We're back. Okay. Crystal, Shannon, and Aroma,
We
and
lost somebody.
Joel.
Look like we lost them.
Where were we? I think Crystal was trying to make a point.
Oh, she was making a point. She was making a point. She was making a point.
Hey.
She was making a point now.
But I
She's
think
making a point.
I think
What make your point?
I think the last thing I was saying is that yes, you do change from relationship, but the key to me is not letting them change you in a way that you carry that over and it's a negative effect. Grow from that experience. Every experience is something that you choose to grow from or let it stifle your growth. And so choosing to learn and to focus on yourself and to take the time so that you don't bring those issues into the next relationship is key. And you could do that, but it's a commitment. You have to be honest. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and it's like, how can I make me a better person? What's a better form of me? Because when you are with the right person, that person helps you be the best of yourself.
So that would explain why a lot of the relationships are in horrible shape right now. Because a lot of people aren't being honest. A lot of people aren't gonna, they're not gonna look inside themselves and say, you know what, you're a mess up.
I agree.
You messed everything up. So with that being said, as far as trying to get somebody to understand who you are, and what you're about, at some point in time, it just seems like that negativity always comes back up. You know, what kind of communication, what kind of language can you bring to that relationship that will keep them from reverting back to their old ways, which caused them to be out of the relationship they were in the first place, and you going back to your old ways, and again, it's a lot of broken relationships now because obviously people can't get on the same page, and they keep saying I'm getting better when they break up, but they get another relationship and the same things start happening.
Because they're not real with themselves. First of all, I can't make the other person do anything. Either they're gonna step up and move forward and we move forward together, or they're gonna do. So I can't answer for or act on behalf of anyone else. I can only try to be the best person I can be and communicate with that person and show that person. When I say communicate, it's verbal and nonverbal, and in hopes that we're on the same page in this path, because it's all about where we are. Sometimes we, as much as I may like that person, we may not be on the same path. We may not be going in the same direction, and that's okay. It's nothing against that person. I'm not saying that person is a bad person. I'm not saying that person is doing anything wrong. We're just not in the same space at that time, which is fine. But I can only say for myself is that.
Do you communicate that? I mean, interrupt. Do you communicate that? Hey, that's not part of what I am, or that's not part of who I am or what I do. Would you just let that person just figure that out on their own?
I mean, what you mean if we're like if something
has gotten started, if something got started, maybe you see something that may be a trigger for you.
Oh yeah, I would tell.
Oh yeah, she will. Trust me, she will.
Okay,
I will.
okay.
I have.
I've
stopped talking to someone,
or if you let them know.
Then if you let it slide, then you're responsible.
Yeah, then I'm responsible because I'm allowing them to continue to do on that behavior and not verbalizing. And then what I'm doing is creating a hostile situation for me, because every time he does it, I'm gonna get mad, but he's gonna do it because I didn't tell him not to. Okay. Or I didn't tell, not so much I didn't tell him not to, I didn't tell him it bothered me.
Okay.
So he can decide whether he's gonna continue that action or not. So I have to take responsibility. And so when somebody says something, or like I stopped, a while way back, John and I were talking, and he made a comment about his grandchildren, his own grandchildren, saying that the only reason he deals with them, they're biracial. They're biracial. And so he was like, if it wouldn't be for the fact that they were his grandchildren, he probably wouldn't even deal with them.
Mhm.
And I took offense to that because I have family members, their children, they're married outside of, the race, whatever, and they have biracial children. And quite honestly, let's go even deeper. If we all look back, I wouldn't be here if it wouldn't be for a biracial relationship, for that type of interracial relationship. So
I'm
I took
sorry,
offense.
I'm sorry to say.
Back up, I'm still talking. Back up.
I'm sorry to say, but hold on, but again, his relationship with his grandchildren, that's a whole different thing.
What I'm saying is, he said that if it wouldn't be for the fact that it was his grandchildren, he wouldn't be dealing with those kids. And he made the comment in the way like the kids were the problem, or they created that situation. And in my case, I have family members. Right. In my case, so he's basically saying outside of his grandchildren, he don't like interracial relationships. He doesn't like biracial kids.
Yeah,
So
that's a whole different subject.
Okay,
that's a different
but what
thing.
I'm saying is, I communicated with him that I did not like that comment. I found it offensive.
Yeah.
And we communicated with that, and he was like, well, that's just how I feel. I said, I understand that and I appreciate that, but that's not where I am. And we stopped communicating.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole purpose of this conversation is talking about how I communicated, and I told him how I felt. And he, that's what you have.
So y'all weren't on the same page.
No, we were not.
As far as how your feelings were, no matter what it was, and I understand where you're coming from, but no matter what it was, y'all couldn't come to an agreement.
Correct.
To even work out that issue, and
correct.
At some point in time, you have to find that common ground and stand on it. But if you just absolutely can't work it out, you absolutely
and that's
can't
where we
work
got.
it out.
That's where we got.
And that's what we're having most of all. Right now, it's not about trying to work things out anymore. It's about, you've ticked me out. I'm done with you. I don't want to talk about it no more. Yeah, I'm done. I'm gone.
Well, and that's the conversation I had with my mom the other day.
I have a question.
That's the mentality of today. And I'm not, it's not a personal thing. It's just, that's what I'm seeing happening all the time. And it's coming from men and women. Men, exactly. Men get tired and women get tired too, But
then we talk about this. We talk about something like, well, for me, I just had this conversation with somebody just the other day, and I was saying that people don't take relationships seriously enough. The first time you get mad at somebody, you want to chalk it up and throw it away. And I think it's because people don't have the same values. Sometimes they're not raised with the same values. Someone wouldn't even raise with any values at all, so they don't have that. They don't have that sense of commitment to a relationship, to want to even work it through. They don't know how to do so. And in the world we're living in, where you can cut on the TV and you seeing this person sleep, they married and they sleeping with Billy Bob and Joe and Johnny and coming back to, and then, all kind of stuff. And he going out, when you slept with somebody, I'm gonna sleep with somebody. There's no value any longer.
Yeah, so it's a lot of options out. It's a lot of options out there on the internet, and just period. So I think that's something that's going to be more prevalent as time moves forward. You're going to have people whose red flag lists increase because they don't have to deal with certain things. And going back to your point, that was a red flag with you, but it was all. I mean, you got red flags and then you have deal breakers. What you told us was that was a deal breaker for you. That was like you couldn't see past that. Some people's red flag is smoking, or person don't clean their restroom. That's a red flag. But a deal breaker is I can't move forward on this. That's what a deal breaker is.
No, I'm with Jay. I understood what she was saying.
Yeah. So I guess what Shannon was saying is that was a deal breaker. But I guess I want to ask you this too, Shannon. Is that something that you felt like, okay, this, with the time invested that you had in that person? And again, I'm saying this, it's not really about you, but you just brought up a situation with you. In the time that you had with that person, the time invested, you didn't see, maybe, let me talk to him about that, and maybe I could change his view on that situation? Was it
Okay.
enough time invested for you to do that, or it was like there's not enough invested for me to try to change that person?
That's number one.
Okay.
Okay. It wasn't like it was a long time, but he had made other comments,
I see.
and at first I was just taking note of it.
Uh-huh.
But then when he said that I was like, look, I said, you made comments before and now you made this comment.
Uh-huh. So it was something that had been ongoing.
Yeah, I said, I'm
got
offended by it. I'm gonna tell you why I'm offended by it. So we had that conversation, and yeah, I wasn't too invested in not to be able to walk away and be good with it.
Yeah.
So that was that.
Yeah.
So that's fair. That's fair. And again, I understand what you were saying too. But again, and I say, but again.
You always
Yeah.
gonna say, but again.
But again, you know, at what point do we decide that some of these deal breakers, we may need to, you know, see if there's any other way to work things out, or because for some people the deal breaker just might be, you know, you work too much.
Yeah. I think that goes back to the
Work
to
too
the
much,
topic
which means you don't have enough time to be with me and spend time with me, and so, you know, we're not talking anymore. All of these kind of things. Some things as simple as if we sit down and talk it out, actually sit down and talk it out, we might be able to work that out. A lot of deal breakers now are probably in the past would have probably been something that people sit down and work out over a nice dinner or something and a drink.
Yeah.
You know,
And
but the
it's
deal
true.
breakers now.
But the deal breakers are based on your own personal preference. Like one person, like I may be like, well, you working a lot, that's good, because that means you're bringing money in the house and you paying these doggone bills. So, you know, as long as we can find some time in betwixt those things, we good. But some people like that, like to have that attention. Some people, he or she may like their significant other to be home on regular intervals and doing things with them regularly, and that's their preference. So again, that's, you know, when issues like that, when things are noticed like that and it bothers you, that's when you sit down and you say, hey, you know, you had those conversations and either y'all can work it out or compromise or whatever. But that particular scenario, it's all about people personal, because some people don't care if you work all the time. Make that money, boo.
Now, for me, I think,
go ahead, Crystal.
when it comes to deciding when to work for it, every situation, to me, you don't try to work it out. You have to have discernment. You have to have discernment. Is this, like Shan said, that situation was fresh, it was new, it wasn't worth it for her. Boom. But what happens sometimes is people get in a relationship, and because they want to be in a relationship, they see red flags or things happen, and it's like, well, no, I'm gonna work through this because, oh, you know, women have that little fantasy idea in their head how it can be, so I'm gonna stick with it. But you see at the very beginning that there's certain deal breakers, but you trying to ignore it because you rather have a bad relationship than not have a relationship. And that's what happens. And women do that all the time. They do that all the time. But you have to, and even if it's healthy, right? Even if it is a healthy relationship, but there's something this person sees as a deal breaker that you can't get over, you're not willing to change, then accept that for what it is. That's not the person for you. It doesn't mean they're a bad person.
Right.
It just means that where they are in their life at that point in time does not fit who you are.
Exactly.
And it's okay and let it go. Stop trying to work or push or force something that you know in your heart you don't want, just because you want to be in a relationship, or just because, well, we've been in it all this time, what else is we gonna do? I don't feel like dating nobody new or getting to know nobody. No, be honest with yourself and that person, and then it could be something you could go ways where, hey, all right, it is what it is. I'm not mad at you, you're not mad at me, let's go our separate ways, because it's just not what we want.
So a person can go ahead. Go
But
ahead.
there
I'm
are
sorry.
times when you have to decide
Hold on, Joel.
that,
Go
Hold
ahead,
on,
go ahead.
Joel.
but
Go
there
ahead,
are
Chris.
times where there's certain things where, you can work through it, but you do have to work through it together. You do have to say, because there is relationships, hey, this is important to me, this is not so important, so I could compromise on that. Or this is what he's asking of me. You know what? I didn't realize it, but I can accommodate that because he's asking for it. And if it's important to him, it's important to our relationship. Those are things you want to work through. But if it is a deal breaker for you and not for the other, then it's okay to just let it go. Don't force it.
I just want to say,
So no sacrifice at all, nowhere. If it doesn't feel good to me, if that deal breaker doesn't feel good to me, then hell, we got to end this. But
No,
if it's something that I might be able to figure out that I can get over and it makes me feel a little bit better,
yeah, good point.
I wouldn't say
then I'm willing to deal with it for a little while longer just to see if I can't change them. Is that the mentality? Because
no,
that appears to be the mentality now.
Again, it goes back to how you say something and the words you use. I would not utilize those words. What I would say is, if it's something that at this point in my life, I can't give to you, no matter what that reason is, it's something dealing with me. But if it's something that you ask of me that's important to you and necessary for you to move forward, and I honestly can't give that to you, I can't. It's not that I don't want to. I may not be in the position mentally, physically, whether to give it to you. Why keep badgering at something that you cannot offer this person? And if you know I can't give this to you, I'm not only going to hurt you, but I'm going to hurt myself more, because then my self-esteem is going to get low. My confidence is going to get low. If I got to be honest with who I am. Now, if it's something that I can give you, then great, we can work on it. I may not be perfect at it, but be patient with me, communicate with me, let me know how I can do this. But be honest, don't put yourself in a position where you know you can't live up to something. And that's like somebody going to apply to be a brain surgeon. You ain't been to school not one day to be a doctor.
Hey, I'm a brain surgeon in my own mind.
But
And
the first
I slept
operation
at
you do, you kill somebody.
a particular hotel last night. I'm a brain surgeon.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
Joel, what were you about to say?
I was going to say that was a real interesting analogy you brought about the brain surgeon, because if you asked me to be a brain surgeon way in the beginning and I knew I couldn't do that, I would have never signed up. So that brings me to the point of if we're in a relationship and it's some things that I'm asking you to do after we've already invested some time, this, that, and the other, I think it should be some degree of understanding that I may be asking this person to jump over a hoop that they may not be able to jump over, and that may be the person that's asking's fault. That's not the person that can't do it.
I agree.
But does it come to a point where you chunk? When does it come to a point? Because you brought up something. When does it come to a point when you chunk? I don't see no scenarios where you chunk the whole relationship away because somebody can't do something.
It just depends on the degree.
I see that's more on. Not pointing fingers. That's more on female aspects than men.
I just had that call. That's it.
I thought you were saying something.
On the degree of importance of that particular thing for you. If it's like, for example, I don't know, what's a major deal breaker? I don't like
let's go find it.
Huh?
No, go ahead.
I can't hear you. What you say?
No, I said go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
What Damien said. I'm not hearing what Damien
said. I said smoking would be a deal breaker.
Okay, so some people don't like smokers. Okay, can't stand smokers. I don't care if you got all the mints in the world in your pocket, you got your portable toothbrushes, whatever. They don't like smokers, whatever the case may be. They don't want to they don't want to smell you smoking, the clothes on, nothing. So, baby, smoking bothers me. I don't like it. It bothers me. Can
you stop smoking?
Can we work on, and it's not healthy for you too. I'm worried about your health as well. So is there a possibility that we can work on you, giving that habit up? Oh no, I gotta have my cigarettes. That's the way I decompress. This is how I handle my situation, my stress levels. I gotta have my cigarettes. Ain't gonna be no. I don't do no nicotine patch. I don't do none of that.
Are we talking in the male's perspective or the
It
woman's?
don't matter either
I'm
way.
shaking your head, because men don't shake your head.
I'm just
That
saying,
first
you
night
tell us,
or
no,
day.
just, okay, just not be so specific. Just be
Okay.
as general as you can. You have a deal breaker situation. That person is doing, who is that? That's Bonnie? Who's that?
What?
That
Anyway,
that
um,
first night or day you met that smoker, and they were standing there or sitting there smoking that cigarette, and you say, you know what, that I just got to have them. You set yourself up for failure at that point because you saw them smoking cigarettes and you knew you didn't like
That
it.
doesn't happen all the time. That doesn't happen a lot of
You
times.
didn't like it.
No. A lot of times
It's not
people-
gonna be long into that
sometimes-
relationship that they're gonna have to take.
Or you
they're gonna have to go and take a smoke or a drink or whatever.
You can push it up and say a drinker or a drug addict too, because some of those things you can hide for a while.
exactly.
That's what I was about to say.
Exactly.
Because some,
You
not
can't hide
not
smoking from a person that
No,
you're
we're
around
just
all the
saying,
time.
we're not, okay, let's just take
I'm just
smoking out,
saying
but
that
just something that
what
they do
the
that you don't know
habits-
they do at first, and you find out 3-4 months down the line
Yeah.
because they
Well,
hide it so
that
well.
means you haven't vetted this person well. That means you let them off the hook,
Ooh, you about to make me say something. Never mind. I'm
right?
now. Be
Well,
quiet.
That's not
You got the
That's-
vet.
some-
You got the
some
vet.
things-
That's not
some things
necessarily,
can't be-
that's not always right.
Some
People
things can't be.
develop things. People change. People develop things sometimes. You could be with someone that doesn't smoke or drink, and all of a sudden now they want to start smoking, or now they start drinking. That's
You just
different.
drove them to
So-
smoke.
That means you getting on
Yeah,
the nerve.
look at you. No,
You just
look,
drove
a
That
them.
woman
means,
don't have
yeah, that
nobody
means
have
you
that
getting
much
on their
power.
nerve.
No, but it depends. So sometimes people get into something, or if it's something you did when the day I met you, by all means, if I accept you the way you are, then that's who you are. I would never ask you to change or do something different because I accepted it from day one. But if we're into this relationship and all of a sudden now you get into something that you know, because I guarantee you, if you start smoking, you're gonna already know I don't like smoking.
Mhm.
If you start indulging too much in drinking, you're gonna already know I'm a social drinker. I'm not getting drunk on the weekends. You're already gonna know that. So if you start to pick up something or a habit that you know I don't have, it is gonna cause friction and tension in a relationship. But it depends on how you're going to handle it. But if you come in here day one with something, I dare not ask you to change who you are because I accepted you that way from day one. But that goes the same way for me. It's the same, it goes back and forth. Because for me personally, I'm a transparent person because I can't keep up with lies. It takes too much trouble. I am who I
Lord,
am.
yeah, my memory is bad.
It's just too much work. And if I
Memory's bad.
right. And
I'm
in my
sorry.
relationship, I want it to be as smooth as possible. Meaning,
Women
I'm
don't
not
never
going to
forget.
add any tension or unnecessary drama to it
Stress.
for any reason outside of just to get attention. I'm not going to do that. But at the
But-
same time, I'm going to be the best mature person of myself. And I want you to be the best mature person of you. So like, if I meet you and you're just not mature, I'm not I'm gonna like you for who you are.
This
I'm
is
not
what
gonna
I
dislike
this is
you.
what I would say, and this is why I said that first moment you saw that person, and correct. Well, you'll be able to give your opinion. Most people have an idea of what type of person they like. If you have in the past messed with a person who has a vice that you can't stand, 9 times out of 10, when you see another person that has that same vice, you're gonna recognize the signs up front early. And by the time you're on that second, third date, you should have been able to figure out, hey, this guy, he's fidgeting a little too much, you know, he keep walking out to the bathroom or whatever, and when he come back in, he smell like cigarette smoke. So I mean, these are things that should be, you know, up front, you know, and you can ask a person. Why not just ask a person, hey, I don't like drinkers, I don't like smokers, I don't like people who use drugs, so on, so on, so. Don't bring that to me. And if I see a sign of it, then that's a deal breaker. But 9 times out of 10, people with vices, they can't stay away from whatever it is long enough for you not to know that they're doing it. And if you've seen it before, you're gonna see the signs.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many times, and I do not like to group people into categories,
Okay,
but
go
a
ahead.
lot, you saying a lot of times that people ask them and say up front, I don't know how to do anything but to be honest and upfront with people. And I have asked questions from day one. And then later
Mhm.
on down the line, when it presents itself that you were not being honest with me, the response I would get would be like, well, I knew if I told you the truth, you wouldn't be bothered with me.
Well, that's
That
what
is
you know. What
that is a very common response from men a lot of times. They will say, because their mind is on the pursuit.
I
So
agree.
they're
I
gonna
agree with
say and do whatever it takes
To get
to
what?
get that woman.
Yeah, but you know why men do that? Because they don't want to lose what they could potentially have over something trivial in their mind. If it's something trivial, they feel like they'll hide it from you until maybe some feelings develop, and then maybe we'll talk about it later on down the line.
Okay,
Now, if
but that
it's
to
trivial,
me, there's a trust thing though.
if it's
Because
trivial,
I
But
can't
sometimes
trust you to
it
be
might be
honest.
trivial to that man, but it might be something important in
But-
your mind.
The vice itself aside, the fact that you will betray me and not be honest with me, knowing that I don't like something, but you're hiding it from me, that's a trust thing. I can't deal with that.
Yeah.
Because
You
if you
might
lie to
not
me,
be-
if you lie to me and hide from me something that you feel is trivial,
Yeah.
God knows if something big came up, I'll be left up in the dark and everything else.
No, that don't mean that.
Oh, why
Go
does
ahead
it
on,
mean
Newton.
it?
Come on.
Not
Go ahead, Luke.
mean that.
If you're
That's just
hiding
like-
something as
just-
little as
just
what you
like
call trivial, something big come up. Let's say we didn't moved in together or whatever, and you're not taking care of the bills, and our lights about to get cut off. But you don't tell
Oh,
me
you
this
stayed
because you're not
there too
paying.
long.
I mean, if you're gonna have something little, you're
Stayed
gonna
that
damn
way
sure hide
too
that the lights
long.
about to get turned off.
Well,
Stayed
he gonna
that
tell
way
you
too
about it.
long.
I'm just saying, it might be like the man, he might be in a previous relationship, you know, we dibble and dabble, and the girl might end up getting pregnant. So
Yeah.
he might feel like he met you, and he might not want, he don't know how to tell you, but
that's not a human being is not a
That's
little
not no
trivial
little
thing.
I'm just using an example.
Woo,
I'm just
Lord,
using,
I was listening. I'm like, what is he talking
I'm just
about?
using an example.
Yeah.
But he just, you know, he might feel kind of awkward because he might feel like, well, if he say, well, shit, you know, me and this woman was together for a year or two. Now she pregnant and we not together no more. And then he got to tell you that, you be like, oh no, I can't talk to you because you're gonna have all that baby mama drama and all that. And then he might wait a while before he tell you that. Now he might tell you,
But that's her right. But that's her right to don't take that decision from me. Give me the right to make the decision and to be 100% honest. I will respect you more as a person and a man by
They tell
giving
you
me
a-
the opportunity to
Right.
make the choice for myself. And I will be honest with you. If a woman's really into you,
I'm still
she
gonna
will
be-
stick by you.
If she's not into
If
you and she going about her way, that's no loss to you. Let her go and find
Yes,
somebody else that's gonna be in your corner.
Exactly. And if she's not behind you, let her go. But if you're honest with her and you give her the opportunity to make the choice up for herself, because 2 things. 1, she made up her own mind. She's going to respect you for that. And 2, she can't blame you for the circumstance because you were up and honest up front. Because then you could say, you know what? You knew what you were coming into from the beginning.
But he might come back later and say the same thing. Be like, well, you know, I was scared to tell you. I didn't want to tell you, but you know, now I feel like
Okay,
we can
okay,
communicate
be
with each
scared.
other. But I still give you that option. Hey, so you know this about to happen. So you know, you got the option to just leave me alone, or you just stay with me. But you still-
Exactly.
But then now, which is true, but now there's a hurt component that's coming with it because you delayed in being honest with her.
You
You
waited till the
drag-
baby
you-
popped
you
out
drag-
to tell
you
her you got a
dragged it
baby
out.
coming.
Because you've been knowing about this for a long time. So that's going to play into that. And again, if she loves you and she's willing dealing with it, she may just stick with you. But then there's a hurt component and it's still a trust component because you could have told me this way back
I'm about to
when.
tell you, baby.
But don't
I'm
you think I didn't mean to cut you off, New, but don't you think to some degree maybe the female aspect, they want a convenient truth. I guess when I say convenient truth,
Yeah.
okay, you tell you the truth on one aspect, but if I let you know something
Goodbye,
about maybe
Stacey.
yourself or something that might be a turnoff, and it might offend you, but I'm letting you know how I feel about that. Then it becomes less of the truth. Then it becomes more of, you hurt my feelings. I say a truth that's not as convenient, honey. Maybe I'm just giving an example, honey. You gained some weight, honey. You gained some weight. That's the truth. That's being honest.
Say, man,
That's
you
being
gonna end up
honest.
dead if you doing that.
That's what I'm saying. Then
They don't wanna hear that
it
one.
becomes less of the truth. It becomes more, and then it becomes more. Now you're stepping into. You trying to offend me? No, I'm just trying to let you know how. I don't want to say feel, but now we talking communication that might not feel so good. Now it becomes in a different realm.
What you gonna
But
do?
see, but see that I think that's another thing when we get into that we can't that gets us in a lot of trouble. When we
Why you say
saying
that?
the truth, when we saying that if I tell you the truth, it's gonna hurt your feelings. Sometimes the truth hurts.
It does.
If it hurts your feelings, you got two things. You can deal with it. What's my saying, Shannon, when it comes to your feelings hurt? What you gonna do?
Roll with it, keep it moving.
Oh.
No, you're gonna wake up in the morning with a new set of feelings.
A new set of feelings. But here's
And-
the other thing.
But
here's-
you're not gonna wake up with a new set of feelings if that person is no longer there.
Or if that,
No,
You're gonna be
person
feeling
takes
like
everything
you're
to
gonna
heart.
be feeling like
No,
you want that person back.
No, because
right?
if that was a deal breaker for them, I gotta respect them for what they are. You're just not that. You're not the person for me at my time. If that is a deal breaker for you, I have to respect that. That's what it is. If I say, okay, babe, I gained some weight. I see you don't appreciate it. Now we're gonna have to decide where this weight coming from. If I just dropped a 9-10 pound baby for you, and you're gonna complain about weight, you just gonna have to complain because I did a miracle when it comes to
get on out and use that gym membership I'm paying for.
But that's what I'm saying. Now you give me time in my body, and I wouldn't mind doing that. Heck, I'm just leaving my Pilates class to make sure everything's straight.
We both can hit the gym.
All right. But the thing is, we always say the truth gonna hurt your feelings. But the truth don't need any help. You have to be honest. And I think that's where we get in trouble, not wanting to hurt people's feelings. But you have to be true, because when you don't tell people the truth and you hide stuff, eventually that's going to compile in and you're going to have a negative concept of that person. And then that person, when you finally tell them the truth, they're going to be like, well, where this coming from? This is my first time hearing it. So we can't be
people.
Right.
And
it creates respect when you
exactly.
And is it truly the truth, or is it just an opinion that somebody associates with the truth? They're like, if I tell you something,
but that might be your truth. I still have to respect. I still have to respect your truth.
We're talking facts. Yeah, we're talking facts.
But I still have because it may be your truth, but it's factual for you. I still have to respect that.
Gaining weight we talking gaining weight versus smoking. Gaining weight is a fact. Smoking is an opinion. Like, it hurts you, but it don't hurt me. I'm not saying if I was a smoker. Gaining weight that's something that actually happened. And if they're in a relationship, and I say, honey, that kind of turns me off a little bit that you gained 12 pounds in your stomach.
Gym, baby.
Or a real one say, well, you need to come with me too. I mean, not just you go. But I guess smoking is something that might turn you off, but it helps me after I get off work, because it helps me unwind. That's enough, but it turns you off. That's your opinion.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
This what
we're gonna have
to say the same thing about the weight. I can say the same thing about a weight. The weight.
That's your opinion that I'm too fat. Somebody else may like all this.
That's what I was about to say.
We're gonna have to come back together on this one. We're gonna have to come back together on this one. You guys have been absolutely amazing. And we're running down on time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna allow everybody to just give a quick little 30 30-second word, and then, you know, we'll have to come back and do this again. I've really enjoyed every last one of your points. You've really,
Yeah.
you know, it's going to help someone. So let's start with Crystal and let her give a last shout out. And
Okay.
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Thanks for inviting me in, and hopefully, you know, I'm willing and would love to learn from you guys, and I hope I can enlighten you in some way to help you where you are. So looking forward to the next time.
Thank you for coming. Shannon?
Always, you know, I love a good lively conversation. I love folks sharing their opinions and their thoughts and all and their feelings. It just does my body good. But anyway, I have enjoyed myself, and I'm like Krista. I look forward to more encounters, mentally stimulating conversations.
All right, Aroma.
Until next time.
Oh yeah, very, very good conversation. I had some extra ears over here with me that enjoyed the conversation as well. So I'm looking forward to it again.
Next. Damien.
You know, yeah, I enjoyed it too. I look forward to future endurance.
All right, and Joel, you want to take us home?
Yeah. Hey, Ross, I want to tell you, man, I appreciate you
forget
hosting,
Stacey.
man. You're doing a great job, Linda Ross. And I think as we increase the format and increase the style, everything can do nothing but come up from here. And I appreciate a lively conversation, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Keep the ideas coming for each cast, man.
Thank you for coming, Stacy. And it's been a great conversation. We really got a lot covered, and we have a lot more to